A woman is sitting inside a car, hands covering her ears, while bullets fly all around her. Her name is Rachel. She's a lawyer, but not your normal lawyer. She's the kind of lawyer rich and powerful people hire when someone owes them money and refuses to pay. It all starts on a quiet evening in the Canary Islands. Rachel's mentor, an older lawyer named Braxton, sits down with a billionaire named Salazar. Salazar owes a man named Goldstein $1 billion. After some back and forth, Salazar finally signs the papers. He agrees to pay the full billion, plus interest. Big win, right? Braxton thinks so too. He's thrilled. After the meeting, Salazar's head of security, a guy named Olson, offers to drive Braxton and his bodyguard back to their hotel. On the way, Braxton's phone keeps losing signal, so they pull over near a cliff so he can make a call. He phones Goldstein's right-hand woman Bobby and tells her the great news. They got the full deal signed. Bobby can barely believe it, but the moment Braxton hangs up, Olson shoots the bodyguard. Just like that, Braxton panics and tries to run, but Olson has locked all the car doors with a remote. He toys with Braxton for a bit, enjoying it. Then he unlocks the door, lets Braxton run a few steps, and shoots him too. Olson calmly picks up the signed contract, calls Salazar, and tells him the deal is dead. No witnesses, no paperwork, like it never happened. Cut to New York. Rachel storms into Bobby's office without an appointment. She's furious. Braxton is dead, and she blames Bobby for not protecting him properly. So Rachel does something bold. She offers to take over the entire Salazar case herself. Bobby isn't a fan of Rachel. She thinks Rachel charges way too much. But right now, she's out of options. After some negotiating, Bobby agrees to pay Rachel 10% of whatever she recovers, plus $10 million up front. That night, Rachel goes through everything. Salazar has hidden himself behind hundreds of fake names and shell companies. To take him down, she'll need to hit him on two fronts, legally and illegally. Her law team handles the legal side, but for the dirty work, she has two crews. The first is led by a guy named Bronco. His team specializes in extractions, intimidation, and sabotage. The second crew is run by Sid. His guys are experts in bribery, corruption, and covert surveillance.
The next day, Rachel and Bronco go pay a visit to Salazar's lawyer, Horowitz. At first, they act like regular new clients. But the second they bring up Salazar's name, Horowitz freaks out and calls security. When the guard walks in, Bronco calmly threatens to splatter his blood all over the office walls. That gets Horowitz's attention real quick. He agrees to hear them out. Rachel explains she's here about Salazar's billion-dollar debt to Goldstein, and she wants a full list of every shell company and proxy corporation Salazar owns. Horowitz refuses and kicks them out. Game on. Bronco and his partner Baker head straight to Salazar's private island to start setting up a base and quietly sabotaging his operations. Meanwhile, in Saudi Arabia, Sid anonymously tips off the government about Salazar's hotel project. Turns out it's way bigger than what was approved. The government shuts the entire construction site down. Now Horowitz is dealing with a scandal that's bleeding $4 million a week, and he already suspects Rachel is behind it. Sid isn't done. He drives to the construction site and crashes his car right into the project superintendent's vehicle, on purpose. His partner Gucci jumps out pretending to be a doctor, checks the superintendent, and tells him he needs 6 weeks off to recover. While examining him, they slip a pile of cash into his car. The superintendent counts it, gives them a thumbs up, and agrees to disappear for a while using the crash as his excuse. Right after that, Horowitz gets another call. Salazar's steel shipment has been impounded because the paperwork doesn't match. More delays, more money lost. Now $5 million a week. At the same time, Bronco and Baker sneak onto Salazar's oil rig disguised as regular workers. Baker wants to blow up tomorrow's delivery outright, but Bronco prefers something sneakier. Damage that takes months to even diagnose. They plant a small device inside a valve. It causes just enough chaos to shut the whole rig down. Safety inspectors get tipped off too. The rig starts losing $500,000 a day. Salazar finally corners Horowitz and demands answers. Horowitz throws Rachel under the bus immediately. Salazar wants her dead. But Horowitz warns him, if Rachel dies, 20 different lawyers, all prepaid, will instantly pick up where she left off. Killing her changes nothing. With this mess now costing Salazar $28 million a month, Horowitz thinks it's time to negotiate. Rachel still hasn't dug up Salazar's darkest secrets yet, so for now, he figures they can survive. Except, during that earlier visit, Bronco planted a hidden bug in Horowitz's office. Rachel has been listening to everything. Every secret. Now here's where it gets fun. Salazar's money guy, his accountant, nicknamed Wolfgang, is the one who hides all of Salazar's billions across shell companies. Sid finds out Wolfgang is throwing a fancy party in Jeddah, so he crashes it, pretending to be a rich investor. He joins a backgammon game using rigged dice and wins every single round. Wolfgang gets suspicious and challenges him directly. Sid wins again. But instead of taking the money, Sid does something strange. He asks for a tiny $10 rematch and loses on purpose. He claims he's out of cash but promises to send Wolfgang a gift. A few days later, a package arrives at Wolfgang's office, a statue that perfectly matches his collection. Of course, it's not just a statue. It's bugged with a hidden hacking device. Wolfgang's office has an unbreakable firewall, but only if no device gets close enough. Now that the statue's inside, Rachel's hacker, Clover, has full access to everything. Within days, Rachel's legal team gets a court to approve international attachment orders against Salazar's assets. Horowitz calls her, panicking, and offers her $300 million to make it all go away. Rachel says no. She demands a face-to-face meeting with Salazar. She's betting it'll happen on his private island, and she's right. Rachel sends her team ahead to start preparing. Their mission now: make sure Rachel can get off that island alive, no matter what happens. Bronco gets to work. He grabs an ambulance, a police car, multiple getaway vehicles, and a stockpile of guns. The team sets up a hidden safe house in the most remote part of the island, close to all 3 possible escape routes, and conveniently sitting on top of old historical tunnels. Since they don't know if Salazar will meet Rachel at his hotel or his villa, the team plans escape routes from both. And since Salazar controls the airspace, helicopters are out. Instead, they get their hands on gyrocopters, small, hard to detect. Route 1, through the city. First test run, their car gets stuck in traffic immediately. So they switch to motorbikes and tear through the streets at full speed. The police spot them and chase. The team pulls off insane stunts to escape the city. The chase spills onto country roads, and finally they dive the bike straight into a storm drain. The cops can't follow. Route 1, cleared, can swallow an entire vehicle. Route 2, by air. The gyrocopters take way too long to prep. Sid and Bronco push their men to drill it over and over until they can get one ready in under 3 minutes. Route 3, through the West Tunnel. This one leads out from the villa. Nobody can follow them through it, except the ravine on the other side has no good path across, and crossing it the normal way would take forever. So Bronco's solution? A zip line straight across the cliff, with ATVs waiting on the other side. For days, the team drills every route again and again, practicing timing, practicing shooting while riding bikes, shooting at moving targets, everything. As backup, they bury landmines along key roads and build a hidden trap they nickname the Banana Pie, a concealed pit in the ground that can swallow an entire vehicle. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Sid and Bronco play tourists. Bronco fakes a heart attack. When the hotel manager rushes over to help, he quietly lifts her skeleton key. Sid quickly explains it's nothing. Bronco just has low blood sugar, he needs candy. Crisis averted. While Gucci kills the security cameras, Sid and Bronco sneak into the penthouse using the stolen key and plant a bunch of hidden bugs. Next, they slip engine killer devices under every police car in the city. But they still need one more thing: info on the local prison, just in case. So Sid splashes alcohol on himself, screams nonsense in the streets, and pees in public until the cops finally arrest him. Once he's released, he reports back. Camera locations, number of officers, available weapons, everything. The prison's security tech is so outdated that he hacks the front gate open with just his phone. The team adds a prison escape route to their plan too. During all this, Sid spots Olsen, Salazar's head of security, watching them from a distance. The two exchange a round of silent insults from afar. Tensions are clearly rising. Back in court, Rachel scores another win. The judge approves seizure of Salazar's personal assets. His private jet gets impounded under international law. His yacht gets seized under maritime law. Salazar explodes at Horowitz over the phone. He's done playing games through the courts. He wants to meet Rachel face to face. When Rachel lands on the island, Sid picks her up and hands her a watch. One press of the button, and it sends out a distress signal so the team can find her instantly. As they drive, Rachel thinks back on why Bronco and Sid are so loyal to her. Years ago, on some other job, she broke both of them out of a prison in Chiang Mai. That's the kind of debt that lasts. Sid notices a car tailing them but decides not to react. No point starting trouble now. Meanwhile, Salazar meets with his people at the hotel to plan his next move. Gucci is listening through the bugs, but the signal starts cutting out. Rachel arrives at the hotel with Bronco and Sid posing as her bodyguards. Salazar opens with an offer, $350 million. Rachel says no. He bumps it to $400 million. Still no. She wants the full billion, nothing less. Frustrated, Salazar tells her to leave. In the car afterward, Rachel calls Clover and tells him to dig up more leverage. She's stressed, so she asks the guys to pull over at a cafe for a quick beer. Bad idea, or maybe the perfect bait. Within seconds, Gucci spots multiple cars full of men converging on the cafe through the drone feed. 2 men walk in and sit at the back. The team recognizes them from the hotel. Then 2 more show up at the bar. Two more take positions outside. Bronco grabs a dish towel from the waiter, lays it over his lap, and quietly gets his gun ready. Sid slips another gun under his jacket and sneaks in through the back. More cars pull up outside. The waiter notices something's wrong and bolts, right as Bronco opens fire, dropping the two men at the back instantly. In the kitchen, Sid takes out another guy. Baker handles the one at the bar. Gucci confirms the back exit is clear, so Bronco rushes Rachel out while the rest of the team mows down the men coming from the cars outside. Within minutes, every enemy out front is down. Then two more show up on a scooter. Gucci spots them in time and Bronco drops both before they get close. The team splits up into different vehicles and vanishes without a single injury. Back at the hotel, Olsen tells Salazar the ambush failed. When Horowitz hears Salazar tried to have Rachel killed, he's livid. Salazar just walks straight into her trap. Now Rachel can file for an emergency injunction, which means every shady business Salazar owns is about to come under full legal scrutiny. Panicking, Salazar calls Wolfgang to start moving assets around. But Clover is watching everything in real time and tells Rachel immediately. Rachel orders Clover to trace every hidden asset, link it all back to Salazar's name, and freeze the lot. While Rachel waits at the safe house for Salazar to crack, her legal team finalizes the international seizure orders. One by one, Salazar's biggest companies get frozen and taken, his entire income drying up in real time. Salazar's men start suspecting a leak. They search Wolfgang's office and finally find the bug. But by then, it's too late. The damage is already done. Rachel gets called to one final meeting. Salazar offers $800 million. Rachel says she wants the full billion, or she'll leak everything to every investor Salazar has ever screwed over, and they'll come after him for $5 billion instead. Salazar has no choice. He agrees to pay Rachel in full and fires Horowitz on the spot for good measure. On her way out, Rachel calls Bobby with the news. They got the money. 3 months later, Rachel is at a desert compound trying to reach Bobby, who still hasn't paid her share and isn't answering calls. Then she spots a car approaching. She calls for her guard. No response. Her assistant hasn't seen him either. Rachel goes looking and finds her guard dead in the sand. She runs back to the tent and finds her assistant dead too. The car stops. The driver steps out. It's Olsen. Rachel presses the button on her watch right before she's dragged away. That night, Bronco and Sid break into Bobby's office. They tell her Salazar has Rachel. Bobby says it's already being handled. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Spanish police, everyone's on it. The two men aren't buying it. They remind her she still owes Rachel money, and doing nothing isn't an option. Meanwhile, Salazar visits Rachel in her cell. He never got his assets back, and he's furious at Goldstein, so he's kidnapped something Goldstein cares about as leverage. Rachel calmly tells him it won't work. Goldstein never paid her either, so to him, she's worthless. Salazar warns her she'd better convince Goldstein to fulfill the deal, or she's dead. Time for the rescue. The team lands back on the island and checks. Every trap, every vehicle, all still in place. Game time. Bronco and Sid take the stolen police car straight to the station, dressed as cops. Nobody questions them. They walk right into the gun storage room, surround an officer, cuff him, and grab weapons. Then they head to the holding cells, knock out the few guards there, lock them up, and pass the cell keys to Rachel. While Rachel hides, Bronco and Sid storm the main office and force every officer to surrender at gunpoint, disarming them all. Just then, 5 more cops walk in. Sid tells them not to move. They go for their guns anyway. Big mistake. Sid and Bronco open fire and clear the room. More police cars start surrounding the station. Baker blows a hole through the back wall, and Rachel, Sid, and Bronco escape through it, reuniting with the team outside. The chase begins. Police vehicles swarm after them down the countryside road, the exact same road the team practiced on dozens of times. Their car takes heavy gunfire and starts falling apart. Sid triggers the buried landmines, and one by one the police cars get wrecked and can't continue. But they send up a drone to keep tracking them. At the first extraction point, the gyrocopters are ready and waiting. So is the drone. It drops a bomb, destroying the building, the gyrocopters, and killing one of their own men inside. In the car, Rachel covers her ears again as the team opens fire on an incoming vehicle, killing most of the men inside. Sid shoots a fuel tank, triggering a massive explosion that wipes out the rest and the car. The team splits, some in the car, some on bikes, for the second escape route. 3 more enemy trucks chase them down. The bikers swing around behind and open fire, crashing one truck. Bronco hides in the trees and pops open the banana pie pit right as a second truck drives over it, swallowing it whole. He finishes off the third truck alongside the bikers. Back at the safe house, the team gets into position with a drone scouting ahead. 2 enemy vehicles hit road spikes and the men continue on foot, while 2 more cars approach from the other side. Baker triggers the mines but only manages to take out one car. A massive gunfight erupts, and the safe house takes serious damage. While the team fights, Baker rigs explosives throughout the house and opens the tunnel hatch. As soon as there's a window, the team starts moving through the tunnel one by one. Gucci goes first to get the zip line ready. Someone has to stay behind to detonate the explosives. Baker volunteers. After a tense argument, Bronco reluctantly agrees to leave without him. Once Bronco and Sid get Rachel into the tunnel, they head out on bikes. Back at the house, Baker pops a gas grenade and picks off any enemy who comes through the door. Bronco keeps telling him over the radio to get to the tunnel. Baker ignores him. Once enough enemies are inside, Baker detonates everything, blowing the entire safe house sky high. A few survivors chase down the trio at the zip line. Sid and Bronco keep firing the whole way down, keeping the enemies pinned long enough for everyone to cross safely. They jump on an ATV and race for the dock, where the rest of the team is prepping the boat. Out of nowhere, Olsen, in a helicopter, opens fire on the ATV. Bronco fires back, Sid floors it, but neither side lands a hit. Olsen switches to a heavier weapon and starts blasting the road, forcing the ATV to take cover inside a building. Lucky for them, Bronco and Sid are carrying a rocket launcher. The second Olsen's helicopter swings into view of the window. They fire. Direct hit. The helicopter crashes onto the shore and explodes, killing Olsen for good. The rest of the team gets Rachel safely onto the boat and off the island. But Sid and Bronco aren't done yet. They've got one more job. Disguised as paramedics, the duo sneaks into Salazar's house, knocks out a guard, and finds Salazar himself. Bronco sedates him on the spot. They strap him to a stretcher, pass him off as a patient, and wheel him out in an ambulance. To get out of the city undetected, they wrap Salazar in plastic, load him onto an ATV and ride straight through the storm drain, same one from the very first chase. Someone has to stay behind to detonate the around the same time. Rachel pays Bobby a visit. Bobby still only knows that Salazar has disappeared. Rachel confirms she's already been paid in full, and points out that Bobby clearly tried to screw her over by holding back Salazar's assets. And now that the police have Salazar in custody, he's going to start talking. He'll tell them exactly who funded his criminal empire, Goldstein. And Goldstein is going to blame Bobby for the whole mess. As Rachel walks out the door, Goldstein's phone rings. He's about to have a very, very bad day.